This is the science show. Now, you may think that what is happening here and over here with the sun and the plant are completely unrelated. But I will show you, with my friend, how they're completely related. In photosynthesis, the sun shoots its rays of light into the plant inside of its chloroplasts. These rays of light enter photosystem 2 and excite two happy little electrons. These electrons bounce through photosystem 2, down the electron transport chain, and into photosystem 1. These electrons are then collected by NADP+ and turned into NADPH. This goes to the Calvin cycle ever so slowly and mixes with ATP and goes Calvin cycle, which I made, to make glucose.
Photosynthesis makes these final two products, glucose and oxygen, which we breathe. So, Eddie, how are photosynthesis and cellular respiration related?
I'll tell you. Right here. The reactants for photosynthesis are the products of cellular respiration. See, the reactants for cellular respiration are the exact same as the products for photosynthesis. So really, it all just goes in a big loop.
The process I'm about to show you is glycolysis. Glycolysis is the first step of cellular respiration. The reactants of glycolysis are a glucose molecule and two ATP molecules. These ATPs donate a phosphate group to the glucose molecule. Later in the cytoplasm, they pick up two more phosphate groups. This causes the glucose to be really unstable. It becomes so unstable that it splits into two pyruvate molecules. This split gives off high-energy electrons, which are picked up by the electron carriers NAD+, converting them into NADH. Later in the cycle, the pyruvates donate their four phosphate groups back to four ADPs, making them into ATP. In summary, the outputs of glycolysis are two pyruvates, two NADHs, and four ATP. The process I'm about to show you is the Krebs cycle, the second step of cellular respiration. In this process, one of the two pyruvates from the glucose molecule give off carbon dioxide and two high-energy electrons to the high-energy electron carrier NAD+, creating NADH. This pyruvate is then picked up by coenzyme A and turned into acetyl-CoA, or acetyl-coenzyme A. Then, the coenzyme A is quickly given off, and it enters the Krebs cycle as a 6-carbon citric acid. More carbon dioxide is given off, and also more energy in the form of high-energy electrons, turning another NADH+ into NADH. It is now a 5-carbon molecule. Next, even more carbon dioxide is given off, turning another NAD+ into another NADH. It's now a 4-carbon molecule. Along this way, a phosphate group is given to an ADP to form an ATP. When this happens, it gives off even more high-energy electrons to FAD+, forming FADH2. It keeps going through the cycle. Then, at another point, more energy is given off, turning another NAD+ into another NADH. This product is now going to restart the cycle and happen all over again. The products of the Krebs cycle are 4 NADH, 1 ATP, 1 FADH2. But since there are 2 pyruvates for each glucose molecule, it actually makes 8 NADH, 2 ATPs, 2 FADH2s.
Whoa. Is that the electron transport chain? Yes, it is. The electron transport chain is the third part in cellular respiration. This happens in the mitochondria of a cell. What happens first is NADH and FADH2, which come from the Krebs cycle, come to the mitochondria of a cell and drop off their high energy electrons. These go through transport proteins, which transport hydrogen to the other side of the inner membrane. These hydrogen ions then want to get back inside, and the only way through is through the ATP synthase. This ATP synthase is basically just like a hydroelectricity waterfall, because when the hydrogen go through it, it spins it and generates ATP or energy. In summary, the electron transport chain had an input of 10 NADH, 2 FADH2, and oxygen. There's an output of 34 ATP and H2O, which is water. So, Nick, now that we know what cellular respiration is, what would happen if something bad happened during it?
Well, Eddie, you see, there's lots of bad things that can happen during cellular respiration, but the one we're going to focus on is Lee's syndrome. In Lee's syndrome, the transport proteins of your electron transport chain are crippled so that none of the hydrogen ions can pass through, and this means there's no gradient, so no ATP synthase, so no ATP. You would completely run out of energy. And this would probably make you so tired that you would fall asleep forever.
And this is the end of the science show. Alrighty then.